Hi guys, I'm Nicolle. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my new series, Bodhrán at the Cottage. We are gonna be talking about little changes that make a big difference. Today we're gonna talk about tipping. So what does that mean? For example, remember on the last video I was showing you that because a triplet is 2 beats, it's equivalent to 2 beats, then we only have that 1 beat that we need to worry about. Well, that one that we need to worry about, we're doing it as a tap, correct? So a tap is this, so it's not really this, but it's not a downstroke, it's kind of like an in-between. Okay, so we have tap, we have down, and we have up. Those are basically the options that we have to do, tap, down, or up. So now if we have these 3 beats, 2 of them are filled up with a triplet, we can choose how we're gonna play that first stroke. So for example, if I do a tap, I'm gonna go down, up, tap, tap. For me, that's quite easy, tap, tap, it's quite simple, down, up, tap, tap. If I go down, up, tap, tap, down, turn, up, in order to do the triplet, I have to put a downstroke, right? The downstroke gives way to the triplet. Downstroke, triplet, down, turn, up, down, up, tap, tap, down, tap, tap, down, turn, up. That feels a certain way. Now let's change that tap into a down. So that will be down, up, tap, down, down, turn, up. For me, it's a lot harder to do down, down, turn up, than to do tap, down, turn up. Tap, down, turn up feels more natural. Down, down, turn up is not so much. But then you have to do two taps are not as easy as to do tap, down for the first part, but then to do down, down is not as easy to do instead of tap, down for the actual triplet. Let me explain again. So if I go down, up, tap, tap, that's hard, but then the down after, tap, down, it's easy. Tap, tap is harder, but then the down that comes after that tap for the triplet, no problem. But if we change it to a downstroke, down, up, tap, down, down, turn up, that tap, down, it's very simple, but then the other down to get into the triplet is a little bit harder for me. Now let's try an upstroke. Down, up, tap, up, down, turn up. So up, down, turn up. Down, up, tap, up, down, turn up. Down, up, tap, up, down, turn up. For this one, for me, if I do it quite quickly, it feels all right. It doesn't feel so bad, but if I take too long, it's almost like I have to mimic a downstroke that I'm not actually playing in order to prepare for the upstroke. Down, up, tap, up. Down, up, tap, up. So it's almost like I'm wasting a little bit of time going into that upstroke. If I do it a little bit kind of more condensed, it's not so bad. Just like a small upstroke, it's not so bad. But as you can see, sometimes I find that it's kind of like in piano playing. When you're learning to play with your left and your right hand side, sometimes your hand kind of gets stuck one with the other because you don't really know how to move one with the other. Sometimes you kind of have to cross or whatever, but that's why you have the little numbers when you're learning piano. I think it's kind of like the same here. Then you eventually will kind of figure out how your fingers move and what is best for you and what feels more comfortable for you, so you don't need the little numbers anymore. And it's kind of the same. If you have grooves that are quite hard for you to play and you can't figure out the reason why, you've checked your posture, the way you're holding it, you've checked your tipper hand, you've checked your angle that is not too wide, things like that, that you're playing inside the drum rather than on the surface, that you know every posture that you're doing is correct. It's not so fast, you understand what you have to do, but you're still struggling and you can't figure out why. Maybe it's the tipping. Maybe you have something like a weird upstroke in there that You might prefer to do it as a tap or as a downstroke. We're all quite different, and what feels really comfortable for me might not be true for you. So do go back to some of those like tricky things or tricky grooves that you want to do and try to figure out what exactly are you doing. And if there is a part, if you can analyze what part is the part that is tricky, then you can kind of break it down and say, okay, is it tricky because I have to do like prepare for the upstroke by not doing the downstroke so that I can get that upstroke properly? Or is it because 2 taps are quite hard? Or is it 2 downstrokes and maybe I'm preparing too much, so I'm wasting too much time and then I'm out of time, or I'm behind the beat usually. If you have to do this and you're really preparing, instead of doing down, down, maybe you're doing this, just the same as doing this. It's not the same as doing that. It's still an upstroke, but it's a lot smaller. And with the tap as well, if you're tapping this way, that takes so long. So it's like about the technique and how you're doing it, but also I have some students that are really good at upstrokes. They just have naturally really strong upstrokes. So sometimes my students prefer to do than. So down, down upturn, down triplet. For me it's easier, but sometimes they like to do up, down, up triplet, up triplet. So it feels quite different. You can try it. Tap, 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 up, 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 down, down, waterfall, down. They all feel very, very different to me anyway. So yeah, tipping is really, really important. And as you can tell with the other ones that we've done actually, doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is quite different in sound than down, up, tap, down, up, tap. So this part feels very different to, right? And it's the same elements, but it's how you're using them, where you're putting them, that really makes a difference, and it makes the groove kind of do different variations, just like we did. If we put the traditional jig before and the modern jig after, it feels completely different than having the modern tipping before the traditional tipping. And you can do that by exploring with the grooves that you have. Are you mixing? Could you mix? If you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, could you do down, up, tap, which is a 3 instead of a 6, which is the same. But the phrase is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a phrase of 6, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's just phrases of 3 that you can make as many as you want. So if you can kind of mix and match your tippings in the jig, for example, and also figure out when you're doing your triplets, like if you are doing tap triplet or triplet tap, it sounds quite different to do, for example, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, tap, triplet, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, tap, triplet, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, tap, triplet, change it, down, up, tap, triplet, tap, down, up, tap, triplet, tap. One on each. You see? It all sounds quite different, and it sounds like you're doing this huge thing, but really you're just kind of, you understand the tipping and where exactly you're putting them in your phrasing and in your groups. So I hope this helps. This one is a little bit more complicated because there's not an exact formula, because everybody's quite different, and what, like I said, what feels very good to me might not feel comfortable for you. But now that you have the group with the tap, you can kind of change it. So let's do it one more time. We'll put them all together. So we'll do the tap 2 times, the down 2 times, and the up 2 times. The one that I gave you with the tap is the one that I find most comfortable, but I will do all of them so that you can figure out the different subtle changes and how that makes you feel when you're playing. Okay, so here we go. Down, up, tap, tap, triplet, 1, 2. Down, change. Down, down. Down, down. Change. So for me, the tap and the upstroke are the most comfortable, but let me know which one you guys find the most comfortable, and I hope this helps. And if there are some groups that are just sticky to play, that this makes it a lot better for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!